And our next guest is not only the chair of the Women's Health Tech Initiative at HITLAB, one of the leading women's health tech networks in the world, but also has just recently moved from biopharmaceuticals to Genentech to help lead Genentech's consumer division in digital health. Priscilla Beal, welcome to the program.
Hi, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today.
No, really appreciate it. And obviously, the audience, and they're all digital health enthusiasts and women's health enthusiasts and advocates and activists. And certainly this month is Women's Health Month and Mental Health Month. And we're really interested in hearing first about your journey, and then a little bit about what your thoughts are and perspectives are in the future of these two very important areas. But first, just give everybody like a 1-minute overview of yourself, so those who don't know you can get to know you a little bit here today.
Sure. I took a sort of very non-traditional, circuitous route into women's health and in sort of digital health in general. My background is actually in art history. I got into all things digital and IT via a temp position at NASA's Science Mission Directorate headquarters. And then parlayed that into a 15-year career doing digital strategy, marketing, and project management for different agencies in the US and in Europe. And then landed where my passion had always been, learned mostly during those agency years on health. A lot of people say, oh, don't stress over your project or your program, you're not curing cancer. But in my case, I really wanted to work for companies that that statement wasn't true. And so I very happily joined Bayer 8 years ago and worked mostly in open innovation and external partnering. Did some internal innovation and entrepreneurship within the organization as well. And then 4 weeks ago, started a new journey at Genentech Roche, helping sort of lay the foundational strategy and the future strategy for how Roche and Genentech are going to deliver personalized healthcare to patients and healthcare professionals tomorrow and beyond.
Yeah, that is special. And what better place to go than Roche if you really want to have an impact in cancer? Such an incredible company, and Genentech, again, being the leader in helping cure cancer with DNA-based solutions, and obviously in the name, and being in Silicon Valley and having come out of that community. So given all of that, tell us a little bit about your new role at Genentech. That's so exciting. You and I talked, and it's just thrilling to see where you're going with this. But tell our audience a little bit about what you're going to be doing there.
Yeah, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So as many people know, the health industry is going through quite a few revolutions right now, women's tech, femtech being one of them, which we'll get to in a minute. But the concept of personalized healthcare, capital PHC, right, is something that has been very buzzwordy of late. And the same goes that kind of trend and that kind of focus on being able to deliver point of care solutions to people that are truly customized to them is something that isn't going to happen. To be able to develop a program that helps deliver that and enables that for people is something that is not going to be new again in my lifetime. And so the opportunity to be able to contribute to the beyond molecule solutions that Roche and Genentech are going to be delivering to its patients, and being able to lay that strategy and really drive the realization of said strategy, hence my somewhat esoteric title, was something that I just really couldn't pass up. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. There's a strategy that's in place. Roche has had for several years a personalized healthcare approach that they've taken with their genomics and with their diagnostics and their other pharma foci. There is the Personalized Healthcare Center of Excellence, in which I sit, and that's really driving the tied to but beyond molecule solutions for the different therapeutic areas and disease areas where Roche and Genentech focus.
Yeah, and everyone was really impressed with the Roche acquisition of Flatiron and all the good that's coming out of that acquisition, and really that combination of kind of a 1 + 1 = 3. So that's super exciting. And you're at the front lines of all this stuff. Tell everyone a little bit about where you see this going. What's your vision that's pursuing this, and where you think digital health and women's health and mental health are going in the next 5 to 10 years here?
Well, overall, from a personalization perspective, I envisage a world where clinical trials are done at home. I envisage a world where adherence is increased because prescriptions and over-the-counter medicines are combined into a single Keurig-like printable at-home solution. And so taking one pill to solve 6 ailments, some of them prescription, some of them not. A lot of people, might refer to it as sort of science fiction, but I think the reality, there are products being made now that are going to be commercially available in the next 5 or 10 years, that will allow people such control and power over their own self-care and the care for those people in their lives that can't care for themselves. I also see a general trend helping with the health equity globally and the access to care, that digital products can really enable and are already enabling, but unfortunately not as fast as we would like them. Things like leveraging technology for clean water, fertility and menstruation cycling, speaking about femtech, how can we enable women to understand that their skin health can also impact their fertility, and the body health and the microbiome and all these things. And digital is really the key to being able to get to that level of personalization where you're looking at my personal makeup, and how I can use those different devices, technologies, and molecules to really customize something for myself. So really empowering the patient to move forward. From a femtech perspective, I will say that there aren't a lot of new trends in 2022, 23 that weren't there in years past. There's still the focus mostly on kind of menstrual products, gynecological devices, as you mentioned before, kind of mental health and maternal health. So I think those trends are really driving fertility solutions is really interesting to me. I go to CES every year, and I've noticed and had conversations with colleagues about this concept of fertility and fertility solutions. And how the conversation around fertility, while it started with women, is also very interesting now from a digital perspective, expanding to men and becoming sort of a couples concept. So I think that's another interesting trend that's happening when you think about fertility and also sexual health. And I think, but what I think is a trend is the interest in femtech. I think the last number I saw on a McKinsey study was $2.5 billion invested in women's health last year alone. And that was almost double the year before. And so, if you continue that trend, the 70% of women that are CEOs of startups are really driving the success of those companies, which ultimately will hopefully lead to the new trend of more women being involved in healthcare related leadership roles within the health and care community.
And one last quick question that came in from someone via email last night, who obviously has a big passion here. Where do you think digital, and think globally around this as well, will have the biggest impact in women's health tech or women's health outcomes over the next 10 years globally? What are you seeing in terms of a specific digital, either an app or a device or something that's a smart something, or maybe a genetic piece of something in digital health? Where do you think that which one? We've got about 60 seconds, so don't want to jump here, but what's the one intervention that you're seeing that you think has the most hope, whether could be something as broad as AI if you want, but really what is your take there?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of served it to me on a platter there. I think it's AI personalization for women's health, across all of the things I just listed, but especially for equity, and for self-care, removing kind of the doctor's need to be with the woman all the time, being able to deliver prescription medication at home and personalized. So I really think that those kinds of algorithms and the personalization of femtech is going to be the key to really expand access globally.
That's great. Well, thank you, Priscilla. We know you're busy. We don't want to take too much of your time today, but I really appreciate you coming in and letting everyone know about your new role. Super excited about that. Congratulations again, and have a great afternoon. Enjoy your long weekend. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
just amazing. And, again, a lot of fun and a lot to learn about how some of the major stakeholders, whether hospitals, health plans, or life science groups, are really taking a new tact in what they're doing with digital health and what they're doing to improve consumer health and patient health with digital health.